Hi, and welcome to The Bottom Line. I'm Pastor Paul Steele. I'm the lead pastor at Bethlehem Church in Austin, Minnesota. And The Bottom Line is the weekly summary of the sermon that's preached on Sunday morning. Now, we've been going through a sermon series through the book of Galatians. Now, Galatians is a letter written by the Apostle Paul to a group of churches in the province of Galatia. Now, the thing here is that most of these Christians are Gentiles. In other words, they're not Jews. And up until this point, the church was predominantly made up of Jewish Christians. And what Paul is dealing with is the fact that for him, the gospel is about the open access of everybody being part of God's global family through their faith in Jesus. And there has been some conflict because some Jewish Christians called the Judaizers have come behind Paul and said that his gospel is not correct, that you have to first become a Jew. You have to follow the law in order to be part of God's global family. And so Paul is writing to correct that teaching. And so far, what he has done is he's talked about that his gospel was approved by the church in Jerusalem. He shared it with Peter, James, and John, and they gave it their stamp of approval and said, yes, go take this message into the world. He has said that the Spirit has confirmed this, because when they heard the gospel and believed, they received the Spirit. They didn't receive the Spirit when the law came, but when they heard the gospel. And he said that the law doesn't make people righteous. That's not the purpose of the law. Abraham wasn't made righteous because of the law, but because of his faith and his willingness to be in covenant with God. No, the purpose of the law was to set apart Israel so that they could prepare the way for the Messiah. And he says that both Jews and Gentiles are children of God. And the Spirit has confirmed this, because for the Jew, when they received the Spirit, they have come into their inheritance promised through the covenant. And for the Gentile, when they have received the Spirit, they are adopted into God's family with full rights to inheritance. And so Paul continues on with this argument of why they can trust his gospel, why they should trust him. And this becomes a very emotional, personal argument for Paul. He states the problem, and then he pleads with them. And the problem, according to Paul, is that when they have received Jesus and are following Jesus, and they have been rescued out of the slavery of their pagan religions, and they return or turn to the law, what they're doing is they're turning back. They're turning back to slavery. That they're following the same worldly principles of don't touch, don't taste, don't do that. And Paul says, no, that's not the way of Jesus. The way of Jesus is following the Spirit. And he pleads with them. He says, don't you remember how we interacted when I was there with you? How we were friends? How you would have done anything for me, and I wanted to see you part of God's kingdom, and I told you the truth. Now why have you turned on me? He said, these zealots, these Judaizers who have come, they don't have your best intentions at heart. I do. And he makes this emotional appeal to them to listen to what he has to say. And so our big idea here is the fact that we shouldn't turn back. So don't turn back to your former way of life. Keep going with Jesus. No turning back. Don't turn back. Go with Jesus. And our challenge this week is to commit each day through prayer to follow Jesus. Following Jesus is a daily commitment. And we have to do that through prayer and surrendering our lives to Jesus. So thank you for taking some time and listening and remembering where we're going through here at Bethlehem with Galatians. I hope that you have a wonderful week, and remember to join us on Sunday morning on YouTube, Facebook, or in person at 10:30. Have a wonderful rest of the week, and God bless.